Hey everyone, so it is Sunday at the moment. I've taken a break of a few days. The weather's been rubbish, and I've just been feeling really battered after the last few days of just grinding an immense amount of rust and everything else off the car. So, back at it again today. We're going to carry on with probably the right rear wheel arch and the rest of the area near the back. I had to pick up a new wire wheel because this one's pretty finished after doing the front and the rear. But got a new one, and I've got a larger 100mm one. This will help just get into those little harder to reach areas. There's just some parts where the smaller one just can't quite reach, and with the drill on I can't actually get in there, and it'll be rather impossible for me to try and scrape all the rust off by hand. So got the 100mm for that. I might time lapse a bit more, but it's probably just going to be more of the same rust removal. So I mean, some of it's kind of satisfying to watch, but I'll see. Maybe bring you guys along for the ride. Okay, let's just have a look inside the wheel arch here. And as you can see, this is what it pretty much looks like before I get started with it. I have pressure washed it out, but a lot of the dirt just seems to sit in the corners here. You can also see the amount of rust that I have to deal with there as well. Around this vent, everything that travels along there. And along here near the brake caliper as well. And then you'll see up here, the actual seam sealant itself is actually cracking. All along here and here. It's just giving those little brown spots as the water's getting in and starting to rust the metal from the back. So I'm going to have to pull all this back down to bare metal and then prime it all up again just to seal it. And then I've got some, oh, it actually arrived the other day. I've actually got seam sealer. I can go ahead and put that on once this is all done. That'll be a whole separate video on its own. And then I'm going to have to go ahead and bedliner this thing just to protect it. I'm also going to have a look behind this cover. As you can see, there's quite a bit of surface corrosion over here as well. So I'm going to have to strip all that back. Guaranteed it's just like the other side. So in amongst all the fun of taking all the seam sealer out, I'm going to have to pull this metal back down to bare metal and prime it up again. Right, another day, another challenge. Well, a challenge that I've set myself anyway. So far, I've removed the fuel tank. Oh, there we go. Fuel tank this morning. And the goal is to actually get underneath and finish all this off today, including the area back here and the rest of this wheel arch, so I can get the tank back in today. So that's my challenge. Wish me luck. Hey everyone, and welcome back. So it's another day, it's more metal work. I've just been going mad at it. It's unbelievable how much work there actually is. You'd think, oh, it's gonna be fine, just a little bit of strip back. It's not, it's really not. Like, the further I dig in, the more I find, and the more I find, the more rust I find, which is rather ridiculous. Oh yes, the apocalypse beard is gone. That was just too much. Eventually, with working underneath the car and all the rust and dirt falling in it, eventually it felt like one of the wire wheel brushes. I could have literally rubbed my face against the side of the car, you know, to remove the rust with my beard itself. It was that bad. So I'm over that. This is a lot easier. It's going to be easier to clean because I can't deal with that anymore. We've also got the calipers to get done, but I'm probably not going to get those done until later this week. My main priority now is going to be finishing the rest of the rear of the car, getting that all sanded down, and I actually want to get the rest of the priming done today. The primer doesn't take too long to dry, which is great, because shortly after I want to, if there's enough time, hopefully there's enough time, I want to actually get the seam seal done. Where have I put that? I put it somewhere. I swear it's here somewhere. It is there. Seam sealer. And we're going to seam seal everything I stripped back. So that's going to take a fair amount of time. So I will bring you along for that incredible mind-numbing journey. But if you enjoy this kind of thing, then hey, stay tuned. Hey, so progress report. I've managed to get pretty much everything here all stripped back. This is what I got primed last time, so that looks fantastic. I've been stripping everything back here, all along there, inside this entire wheel well. And now today, I'm going to move on to the rest. So yeah, this is going to be the big challenge of the day. I'm just going to have to try to get these pipes a little further out the way so I can go ahead and clear all the rust off. But eventually everything here that looks all really nasty is going to look nice like that. Yeah. More work on the Supra. It still continues. Basically, I got the rest of the rear of the car scuffed and all down to good clean metal. I'll show you that in a second. Then also, I've just been checking on the fuel lines. I got a little bit of surface corrosion on them, and there's not the greatest news as far as that goes. So let's go check that out. And onto the rear. As you can see, I've finally got all the strip down complete, everything scuffed up and all ready for paint. It's looking a whole lot better. Everything properly cleaned down to good metal. As you can see, there's a bit of surface corrosion on the line over there. The rest of it is really just paint peeling off. However, there I have a fuel leak. See if I dry it off. It literally comes back. So that's a really bad leak. So that would be terrible under pressure. But good news is the rest of the underneath of the car is wonderfully clear. All down to clean metal, all scuffed up and ready for paint. Before I get started with primer, I wanted to show you the seam sealer area up here in the wheel well. As you remember, it was cracking. And that's how far the actual rust has spread into the metal that I had to pull all the seam sealer back. Just so I've got a good area to prime up and reseal again. Actually really worrying because there wasn't much of a sign unless you actually went looking for it. And it actually spread rather far back, right up until where this cover would actually go in place here for the fuel tank. And definitely behind the fuel tank as well. I mean, all this needed to get stripped back as well. So the rust actually started to spread pretty quickly, which is not fantastic. But at least it's all taken care of now. Everything's masked off that needs to be masked off. Cleared a bit more metal over there. And everything's now wiped down. And ready for primer. Let's get on with this.
Fireflies in the sky, and they're coming down and hit the ground now. Run around, chase all my dreams. Will you come with me tonight? Be my firefly, my firefly, my firefly tonight. Yeah, come with me, firefly, my firefly, my firefly tonight. Yeah, come with me.
far as you can see from the time lapse, I've gone ahead and got the whole underside finally all primed up and sealed off, so that's going to be fantastic. I started off, as you can see, just round all the seams and like heavily rusted areas with the rust reformer primer, so it's actually got like a converter in there just in case there's any bits of rust I couldn't quite get with the wire wheel. They will obviously get sealed up and converted into a usable metal for the primer to hold and adhere to. And then with the just large blanketed areas of clean metal and primer that it was already scuffed up, I just used the U-Pole Power Can Etch Primer, and that went on amazingly with the fan spray that it's got. So that was a quick and easy just cover up. And then I've gone over majority of the areas that I've done the converter primer with the etch primer as well, just to give it that second layer of protection. And now I'm going to just let it all dry off. It should start to dry off in the next few minutes, and then yeah, time to get going with some seam sealer, and that's going to be the next step along here. So before we start with the seam sealer, can we just take a moment just to look at how amazing that has all come out, including everything here. It looks amazing. So much better. So worth it though. I can see why people charge like upwards of $2,000 to do this work. It is so labor intensive, but wow, is it worth it. Cool. Let's start sealing all these seams back up. Alright, so I've gone ahead and added all the seam sealer in and around. As you can see, I decided to give it just a bit of a messier look, just so it matches with the OEM style. I just need to flatten it out there on the actual strut top mount. And then I've gone ahead and added more, just to replace everything I've removed. And the same on the other side. Let's just quickly have a look there. You can see. I've gone ahead and added it all back in, especially this big section here. And the bit over there. I am going to carry on adding more in tomorrow, but at the moment the temperature is dropping quite a bit, so it's just increasing the cure time. So I don't want to have to deal with that. But you can see on the other end I've also added more in. Man, this area looks fantastic. Completely repainted. Yep, calipers are next on the list. You can go ahead and get all the brake lines back in place. And put the fuel tank back in once I've added all the bed liner in place. I think I'll start with the bed liner tomorrow in that area over there. Hey, so as you can see, everything's pretty much finished off on the rear as far as primer goes, and seam sealer. I got a bit more seam sealer to do tomorrow. I'll probably just not even bother videoing it, just like the end product like I did already. It's just rather boring stuff to watch, so I'll save you the boredom. Then it's just going to be just using the bed liner on the rear where the tank goes and getting all the shields of the tank cleaned up. I may just spray them as well, just with some of the etch primer, just so they look good. I don't want them to be like the only rubbish looking part on the back of the car. So I suppose that'll probably be the next video, so stay tuned, stay awesome, and enjoy.